The new pricing manager is live in Cool Running Software. This is going to be the live training to go over that tool in depth with Tony. It's going to be kind of a more laid back approach than we had with the webinars. Less structure. We're kind of just going to be showing, asking for questions as we go. As you guys think of them, just drop them in the chat. And honestly, even raise your hand in Zoom. We'll basically call you in, and you can turn on your camera and talk as well if you're comfortable with that. But we're just kind of going to be going over everything. It's in the new tool, and looking for your guys' questions.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Nick. And yeah, like Nick was saying, yeah, this is gonna be very informal, and this is just to give everyone like a quick overview of the product. Hold on, did I mute my Phil? Did I mute myself? No, there we go.
Mhm.
A quick overview of the product, and just so you know, if you don't feel comfortable asking questions today, feel free to reach out and say, hey, you know what, Tony, it's something I would like to talk to you about in this thing. Can I get a one-on-one with either myself or Nick? Either one of us can actually work with you one-on-one. So again, if you don't feel comfortable with that, totally fine. Okay. So anyways, so that being said, I'm gonna if hopefully most people here watch the email blast with the videos and things like that explaining the system, but I'm going to go over those videos again and kind of do it live and talk through them. Basically, I'm just going to remake it. And as first I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick overview of the system, which is going to be a little bit of talking about just what's what inside the system. Then then go over the first video of the system again, and then we'll kind of pause at each moment and ask for answer questions or ask if anybody would like to step in and ask a question about something. Okay, so all right. So Nick, do you want to give me
Yeah.
the screen?
Yep. You're good to go.
Okay.
We're hoping as Tony goes through these, it kind of gets the ball rolling, gets you guys thinking on how you guys can utilize it or just any questions that you guys have. So
Very good. All right. So let me flip over to I'm going to flip over to the demo system, the same demo system that I used.
these videos that Tony's referencing are also in the chat right now with the complete guide. So if you guys are going to look over that in your own time, you guys can look at that too.
Hmm. So Nick, when you're saying in the guide in the training center,
Yeah. So the
okay.
guide was the blog post that we launched along with the product. It's basically just a text version of all these videos. Pretty much shows you exactly how to get to where. Uh, it's kind of there's a table of contents that you can just click into for every single part, like how to add a price group, price point, how to change locations, how to add them to different price points, and so on.
All right. So, like I said, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and just do an overview of the system here. So, the new pricing manager is right under here under the operations and pricing manager areas. But before I do that, I'm gonna actually kind of review a little bit the products area and how the products area looks a little bit different now. So inside our
Tony, I
products
think I need
area,
you to share screen.
oh, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. One sec. How's that?
It's coming in right now. Yep, we're good.
Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Okay, so as I was saying, the first under operations and pricing managers, where the new pricing manager is located. But before I do that, I'm going to kind of I want to go over the products area. I'm going to use my old Olmsted Ice database to kind of give a better look at this because it shows a lot more in my sandbox system. Okay, if everybody remembers when you came inside here, you saw a bunch of tiers. This is oh crap, lost it. Okay. If everybody remembers, it used to show a bunch of different tiers in there. The tiers are gone. Okay, so now it's replaced with you have one base default price for your product. You can go and put in a base price for that product or not. So you can see right here, here's a defaulted price. And then when you go ahead and assign price points to for these products, you can assign them to the different locations and they'll override the default. So if a customer doesn't have a price point set up and they happen to buy or they go to buy that particular product, that default price is going to come up. You can also, of course, see right here if you need a retail price, whether the default of that product is taxable, non-taxable. And over here, you can see how many price points has been created, which we'll discuss that, and how many particular locations are on that particular price point. And from here, you can go and click on it. It'll take you right into the pricing manager, so you can go ahead and see what it's kind of showing you. So, for instance, like this 20-pound this particular 20-pound block. Oh no, let's do this one. 3.5 kilo bags. If I was to go ahead and click right here, it takes me right directly into the pricing manager where I need to be to see that particular area. So that's how the products area is kind of changed. So now going into the pricing manager, I'm going to go operations and pricing manager. Okay, let me go into the demo system because there's not a lot going on in that one. Okay, demo system only has 3 products in there. Okay, so looking inside here in the pricing manager, first off, it works just almost like the schedule tool, the route builder, whatever. It's got a lock screen on it. Only one person can be in there doing the editing of the prices at a certain time. So I'm going to unlock it. So over here on the left, we have our options where we can go ahead and sort it by group. We can hide inactive products, unhide inactive products. You got a little legend here for your different icons, looking very similar to some of the other areas. You can collapse and open options. We also have a tools area up here for bulk price adjustment and such, which I'm going to go over in a different video. This is something that as an administrator, I have to clear all pricing. You guys do not have that. Okay. So over here is where you'll be able to get and where you list all the different products that you sell for your particular company. They're all going to be listed right here, including any child products that you might have. Anybody, you can continue using child products right now, or you can actually merge them into one basic product if you want to. All right. So now over here, if I was to click 11-pound block, you show all the different price points that have been created for the 11-pound block. So you can see right here, I've created for Kroger's 11-pound blocks, and I actually can put a name on it, specifically what it is, and the price point for that particular one. So here's all the different Kroger's that are using that $1.50 price. You see here Shell gas. I have Shell gas stations that pay a $2 price. And if I wanted to go ahead and make those changes, all I could do is go from here and click it and make that change. Same thing down here. Go to 20-pound block. Same idea. These are all the different particular price points and what locations are assigned to that different price point. Okay. Now up here we have where we can kind of manage the price points. We can add new price points, manage, make bulk price adjustments, which I'll discuss in another video, sort by price or product. Up here under locations, we can click a certain price point and assign locations to it. Or we can actually go into a particular price point and move them to a different price point. So for instance, let's say I had 2 or 3 separate 7-Eleven setups, 7-Eleven price points. And I said, you know what? 4 or 5 of these, I want them to be in a different price point. Let's say one of them's $1, one's $1.15. I can go in and I can literally take 4 or 5 of those 7-Elevens and take them out of that price point and move them into another one. And then now their price has all been changed. And they're all underneath that one price point header. Okay. Copy a product, which is basically just taking a product, copying it so you can create more, removing and of course seeing inactive. We also have a find feature. You can go in here and look for any particular location and see what they actually have. So if you're trying to figure out, well, rather than going through the entire list and trying to find, oh, God, I can't remember what price point I assigned its particular location to, the find feature will help you. You can go and click it, find it. It'll tell you where they're at and actually take you to it. Very similar to the schedule builder. Okay. And then, of course, the refresh button that goes in right there. Okay. So that's like the quick overview of it right there. So again, all these different price points, all the respective prices assigned to that price point, and all the locations that are using that particular price point. And from here, we can make that change to the price, move them to different price points, do bulk changes on anything. Okay. So the first video that I guess I created for you guys was kind of went over that.
Do you want to go over what it might look like in their license right now, as far as how the transition happened? Like it was pretty messy in the Ohms that I spun.
Oh yeah.
um,
Okay.
what each station price point would look like now.
Okay. So yeah. So I'm flipping over to Olmsted Ice. Okay. And you can see right here, Olmsted Ice, this was also my sandbox system. So there's a lot of stuff going on inside here. But as soon as the transition happened, okay, all the current pricing that everybody was paying at that point, they're all paying that price right now. Okay. And that has not changed. Um, so looking inside here, you'll see it says location pricing, location pricing. These all here represent overrides that you had in the system. So if a customer, let's say a customer was set to a certain tier, okay, that was paying one price. When it came over as saying location price, it basically just said, hey, it overrid the tier, but they're all paying $1.20. But right away, I can see inside the system, everybody that's paying $1.20, $1.24, $1.30, and right on down the list. This is every person that's paying that particular price. And from here, I can actually make the changes that I want to make to that particular price point. Now, if anybody was locked in on a tier price, it's the same concept down here. Tier price 475. Here's all the locations that we're paying that are on the $4.75 tier price. All these particular locations. Okay. Now the point is with the pricing manager, we can actually go in and maybe even do a little more cleanup, put a little more naming on it, and just overall just make it easier to work with. And as I said, right now all your prices are over there, exactly what you're paying before. So as a project for yourself, you guys can go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to take a group of stores and name them into a particular price point. Okay. So I guess maybe Nick, I should probably just kind of maybe work off of this list here, and that might actually help.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, this is just we're kind of jumping around right here. So let me give you an example. At my company, Mark's, I had this chain called Mark's Discount Stores, and it was probably the biggest chain that I had, as far as like how much volume I did with them. So let me see where I'm going to do a little find here. I'm going to find my Mark stores in my for 7-pound bags. Okay. That's 20. Nope, that's not the one I want. Okay. So show and pricing manager. Okay. So you can see right here, I have all these different Mark stores. They're all underneath this tier price of $1.79. Okay. But you know what? I want to give them their own place in the pricing manager. So what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to add a new price point. And I'm gonna put 0.79, and I'm gonna call this Mark's 7-pound bags and save it. Okay, so that new price point has just been created right here, but there's no locations assigned to it yet. But all those marks are listed down here. I want them all to be paying 79 cents for that 7-pound bag, but I want them to be in their own place. So this is part of the whole like cleaning it up a little bit and giving it a little more structure. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to choose these guys. Probably should have picked something with smaller chain, but I can just go ahead and pick some of them. I'll just go down and select them. Didn't realize how many stores I had until I got to start clicking them all.
Wasn't there a select all, Tony?
I
Or
think there
control?
was. Okay, so I just selected all my Mark stores. Now what I can do is I can just go up to I can move them. Once I find it. Right there. Okay. So now all those Mark stores are all tucked under their own price point of Mark 7-pound bags. So now that they're in here, now as far as making changes to these marks is going to be very easy for me. If I want to go in and say, okay, I want to do a price increase for marks, since now they're all tucked underneath this one price point, I can click right here and go right into the marks price point. I gotta find it again. There it is. And let's just say I want them to pay 85 cents. Save. Okay. So now the new price point's 85 cents. I publish it. All those Mark stores are now paying 85 cents a bag. So the first step for me was going into the system and saying, I'm going to take a bunch of these stores and I'm going to tuck them underneath their own particular price point. Okay. Now you can see right here, going back on the whole transition thing, it went ahead and grabbed and created namings for the namings inside the system. So, location price in 53 cents, 70 cents, and whatever. You can go in right now and actually start making these changes to these namings. So let's see if you say location price is 72 cents. Oh, let me go to a higher one. There we go. I can go in and make these changes right now. I don't have to call a location price in 95 cents. I can call it 7-pound bag, 95 cents. Save. Okay, so that new naming of the price point has just been changed. Okay, so going up to that point right there, I think I can pause here and see if there's any questions up to that point. But I guess the point of what I was just trying to show there is now that you've got all your different price points all listed right there, now you can go in and do some customization and give some naming specifically for that 7-pound bag and saying and actually making a name for the price point and putting locations underneath it. So for instance, again, like this Independence Excavating, that was another construction site that I used to work with. And I put them all underneath Independence Excavating. So now if I want to make a change on the price of Independence Excavating, again, I just go right inside there, find Independence Excavating, change the price, and save. And that's done. Now there and publish. The new price has been activated. So, Nick, do we have any questions or anything up to that point?
Yeah, so one thing actually too with that select all, just really quickly, can you go back to that Marks
Sure.
price point?
Good.
If you hold down Control and double click on the price point label,
Yep.
that's the select all
Cool.
for that
Perfect.
price point.
So again, I'll show everybody that again. If you click on your price point, this is like middle. Oh, this is interesting right here. They're all middle steel's $1.65. But if I double click on it, it went ahead and selected them all. And once I'm in there right now, I can actually move these all under a different price point, or I can just go ahead and rename this one. So it's interesting here that middle steel for me, they're all paying $1.65. Well, it would make more sense to me to rename this rather than saying location price and $1.65. I'm going to go in here and go down to the 165 and say middle steel. I can type. There we go. And save. Good. So now I got a middle steel price point and I got a Marks price point. And this is the type of stuff that I would be doing right now that this is active. This is kind of like that project. You can go in and you can see everybody who's paying any particular price and go in and rename their price point, move them to their own special price point inside the system. Okay.
Then we have another question, just about can we place multiple products in each price point? I think you just probably want to elaborate just on how it's set up.
Can you place multiple products into one price point?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, over here is every product that you sell. Okay. So 20 pounders, 7-pounders, and whatever. So if I was to go up to 20 pounders, all these prices over here represents all the price points of a 20-pound bag. Okay. That through the entire Olmsted Ice system, this is every price that I have listed in my system for a 20-pound bag. If I go down to something smaller, delivery fees, Model 40s. This here represents every price that I have for a Model 40. Okay. And but right now, because of the transition, they all came over as this. This is how the transition worked. But after I've done a full cleanup of this, it's probably going to have it would have better naming. Saying like I could call it price level A, price level B, price level C, or I could specify particular an exact location like I did with the marks or the middle steel. I can call the price point anything I want and then have a price attached to it. And you can have multiple price points of the same price. So let's say you're dealing with 4 or 5 different chains. You're dealing with a Kroger, an Albertsons, you know, up in our area, Giant Eagle. And let's just say all these chains are all paying pretty much the same price. Okay, let's just say they're all paying $1.10 a bag. But when you're going to do a price change, let's say only one of them you're going to be able to initiate the price increase. Okay, so that way there, once you go in, you can select that one price point. Say at Giant Eagle. Say, you know what? They're not paying $1.10 anymore. They're paying $1.15. And so that way there, you can really break things out like that. Okay.
I think he's typing something out right now.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just a clarification on that.
Okay, good. All right. So I kind of went over the moving function of moving locations from one price point to another. But what about creating a brand new price point? So let me go ahead and here and let's see if I got for 11 pound blocks nice and small. Okay. So let's say I want to add a brand new price point into the system. So if I go up to price points and I go add, and let's just say I'm going to call this 2.73, whatever, just to be random. And the title of it, I'm going to call it full price point, full running price point. Again, I can name it anything I want. So in this situation right here, I just added a new price point. So now let's just say I'm clicking on it and I want to just, rather than moving locations from one to another, I'm going to assign locations to it. So this is the assign function. So I go into here under assign. This is all your locations that are currently are not selling that block or that product. Okay. And you can see right here, they're all separated by your A's, your B's, your C's, and whatever. So if I go inside here and I say, okay, let's try the B's. And let me see if I can, let's just say Barrio Restaurant. Barrio Restaurant. I want them to start buying the cool running 11-pound blocks. Save. And that's done. As soon as I click on that publish, Barrio Restaurant, all 3 of them have 11-pound block in their price list now. And that's done. So that's basically the assignment tool. So we went over the move function and went over the assign function. So since let me recap on the move. Let's just say I go into this location right here and say, you know what? I want these 2 guys to also be under the coal running price point. So this isn't an assignment, this is a movement because they already have 11-pound blocks assigned to them. I want to move them to the cool running price point. Locations move. And I'll go up here and say, there it is, cool running price point, save. There they are. Publish. Now those 2 stores are buying the 11-pound block at $2.73 a bag. Okay. Is there a question finished question, Nick?
Yeah, so he basically was saying some of his customers just need to be under the same price code.
Mm-hmm.
Like if for example he has a 7-pound, a 20-pound, and a 10-pound, uh, his customers need to be under the same code, the same product code.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was thinking that it might just be easier to show this from that customer, from a specific customer on that side, how it works with kind of the old system within a actual location.
Okay, actually going into the location, seeing the products that are assigned to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first off, backing up on that. So in that situation right there, that customer right there would have if they're buying three separate products, that means those 3 products, the 20-pounders, they'd have a 20-pound bag and a price point assigned to it, a 7-pound bag and a price point, and a say 11-pound block. Okay, and a price point to it. So that customer is going to have all three of those price points assigned to them, 3 separate products. So
This
let
can
me
be
go.
named this can be named the same thing across those price
Yeah,
points.
yeah,
So
it
let's
can be
say if
named.
it's
It can be named the same thing. So that's a good point, Nick. So let me just do that. Okay. So they're bringing up that example, and so I'm going to click on my 20-pound bags, and I'm going to go price points, and I'm going to add one. Add. And I'm going to say 20-pound bag. I'm going to say 350. And I'll just call this level A level price. A level 20-pound bag. Just as an example.
So why don't you just call them all A level?
Huh?
Because then you could do one for 7 pound bag as A level and a 10 pound as A level.
Yeah, absolutely. You could. Okay, so that's 20-pound bag. I'm gonna go in here to 7-pound bag, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna add one, and let's just say this one's a dollar 20. And I'll just go in here and I'll do the block too. Price point add, and say the block is 225. Okay, so under all three price points, I can name them exactly the same thing. And let's just say, for argument's sake, that but this particular customer, let me add a customer to it. Okay, and I'll just kind of pick one. Let's say it's A&B Dennison. Save. Okay, so A&B Dennison's buying the 11-pound block. 7-pounders. I'll click locations assign. I forgot which customer it was. Let me go back. A&B Dennison. Okay. Okay, there it is right there. I'm gonna locations add, assign. That was A&B Dennison. Flush that first. Oh, I know why. Let me find it. It's because it's already assigned to a particular price point. I kind of picked one that was already assigned. There it is. Okay. This was kind of a bad example, but it's kind of showing the move function. Just gotta find it. There we go. I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna talk about that sorting thing right there a little bit. Probably something where they're not a really good example to work with here because I picked something that's already got stuff assigned to it. Yeah, we're gonna work on that sorting thing. Okay. Okay, so now that this is done, I created this price point on all three products, A level, if you want, as an example, as a price. So this particular customer right here, when I click on it now, all three products are assigned to it, and here's a price for each respective price point. Hopefully that kind of answered the question.
I also think it might just be worth it to elaborate on child products with product code. How that's going to work the same way it did before, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. If you have child products, it can work in exactly the same way. And the one thing about the child product is you can actually go in and move it back up to the original price point. Like if you can actually kind of get rid of it altogether and actually just say, they're going to be 20-pound bags from now on. Rather than having all these separate child products, you can actually just say, you know what, I'm going to put it all under one 20-pound bag and I'm going to name these different price points. Okay. Any questions up to that point? Okay, so kind of discussed earlier. Let me flip over the demo system because it's got a lot less going on in there. Okay, so what about we also have this we also have a tool in the system where we can do bulk price increases into the system. So I can go up in here to tools and I can do bulk price adjustment. Now there's two different bulk price adjustment areas in the system. We have it up here, which makes it so you can attack every single product that you own. Okay, or you can do it specifically at one product level and say, you know what, I'm going to go to here. Let's see if I get a better example here. See that 7-pound bags. Okay, let's say this one right here. I'm going to do. I can go right here and I can do price adjustment. This right here only attacks only goes with the individual product itself, but this one up here, the bulk price adjustments makes it so you can do them all. So let me just kind of look at this right here, and let's just say these 11-pound blocks, and you got a couple different things you can do here. I can select all these right here and say, you know what, I want to do I'm going to use this example, a 50% increase. Let's see what that looks like. So right away, it's telling you this would be the 50% increase on these. 50% is kind of outrageous. So let's do 5%. All right, so there's a 5% increase across the board. And you don't have to select them all. You can just select certain ones and save it and publish. I just did a 5% increase on all those 7-pound bags at one time. But let's just say I'm going to do it again. Rather than doing the percentage, we can actually do an amount. And from right here, we can actually see everyone that's out there and say, you know what, I'm planning on doing a 0.02, a 2-cent increase on every one of the sorry, I got to select them all. Okay, so there's a 2-cent increase. And you can literally go right down your entire list and select who's going to get this 2-cent increase. Once you're satisfied with that, you can just hit save. Now, that new price does not actually go live until you click on publish. So what's nice about this is you can actually start working on this on, let's say you're not planning on pushing out an price increase till next Monday, but you're working on all the price changes and adjustments right now. You can go in the system and make all these changes, but they do not go live until you click on that publish button. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. But what happens if while you're working on your price changes that you're not planning on enacting for 3 or 4 days, what happens if you actually go in and actually add a brand new customer, or you need to change the price on an individual customer while you're working on your price increases? We have built in a way that you can go ahead and make those changes locally at the individual location. So that way that price increase will be active on that one right at that moment, but it doesn't affect all the price changes that you're doing. You don't have to do a full publish of all your changes. So since I'm talking about that right there, let me go into customers and locations. Okay, so this is my demo list, and I'll go into my Nashville. So let's just say this 7-Eleven store. I'm going to click on them, and everybody understands that you have a product screen right here. And this right here obviously looks a lot different than it did right now when you go ahead and click on the different individual product. Okay, everyone's used to seeing the overrides and such. Well, right now it's listing all the different price points that you have for a 7-pound bag. Any different price point that you've created for 7-pound bags is going to be listed right here. This right here is the defaulted price that it's overriding. So here they all are. Okay. Now, if for some crazy reason, I could obviously go ahead and pick any one of these price points, but let's just say that price point hasn't been created yet. Okay, it's a brand new store, and I'm giving them a special price, but it's not actually in my system yet as a price point. Not a problem. You can actually just go in here and the system will let you go ahead and create a price point just for that one. I'm going to say no tax and save. Okay, so that right there just changed that price locally on that one place, but did not affect the fact that I'm doing a bunch of price changes inside my pricing schedule tool. at that time. That's still in preview mode until I publish all those changes. But this makes it so I can make a change locally still right now until you're ready to make those full changes. Okay. So any questions up to that point? Nothing yet, Nick?
No, nothing in
All
here.
right, good, good. Um, so let me see if there's anything I'm going to kind of go over this myself and make sure that there isn't. Nick, can you think of anything we did not discuss?
No, I think we covered.
For those of you who actually don't use the price bit the route builder and such like that, or the schedule builder, you this right here you might see this. Now the people, everyone who uses the schedule builder and the route builder and stuff like that knows what this manage function locks means. It means that somebody on another tab or on another computer somewhere is in the screen at that time, and I can boot them out by clicking on this manage function locks and remove the lock. Now I can get inside the screen and make any type of edits that I want.
Can
Okay.
you cover how this would work for private label surcharge?
Oh, thank you. Private label surcharge really does not change. So let me the private label surcharge, once you have when the location's listed inside your system, if you were to go in under whatever price point that it's assigned to, if you double click on it, let me find another location here. You'll see right here, this is where you can go ahead and enact the private label surcharge for that individual location. Just like if I was to go right directly into the location itself. So really, it's not much different than it was before. It's individually at the location level. So when you click on the product at the location level, you can make the change right here. Or if you're actually in the pricing manager tool, if you double click on the location itself inside the pricing manager, if you are using a private label surcharge, and go in. And I know there's probably a lot of people in here that don't understand what a private label surcharge is. And I'll explain it real quick. What a private label surcharge does, it makes it so if you were actually working for another company and doing work and selling bags for them, the price on the receipt is going to be what they charge. Like if you're working for doing a job for Home City or something like that, the price on the receipt is going to be what they charge that particular customer that you're delivering for. But what the private label surcharge makes it so when it uploads into your accounting system, what you're supposed to be paid per bag for that particular location. Okay. So obviously, if there's people here that do anything like that and you're interested in learning something about that, obviously we can show you a little bit about that. But that's a good question. And thank you for stumping me a little bit there for a second. Okay. Anything else, Nick?
Nothing else.
All right, perfect. Okay, so Nick, under the help section, are we going to be adding these videos? I mean, I clicked under
Yeah,
here under
there.
help. They are there?
Here. Let me change screens. Let me take control of the share screen
Sure. Okay.
because they're on YouTube right now. I
Okay.
can click.
Yeah,
I can
Nick.
add a training center playlist.
Yes, please.
That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna drop them actually into the chat really quick. The links to those two things, and then they're also on the actual cool running software dashboard right now too.
Mhm.
So that little notification that we always
Yeah.
get out
Yeah.
some announcements with, it's on there.
Yeah. Definitely want to get those into the training center. So that way there, if anybody has a new person, they need to learn something about it, they can go click on help and they can go see the different videos that are in there.
Yeah, those will be added.
So again, I know this is, a lot of people don't like asking the questions right here, but I'm more than happy to set up a time where I can do a share screen with you and look at your customer list, look at your schedule, your pricing scheduler, and give you advice on what you need to be doing as far as like creating specific price points for some of your larger chains or different price levels whatever you like to call them, a particular company, because you can name them anything that you want. And once you get all this naming and the chains and everything all locked in, when it comes time to actually do your price changes, you know where everyone's located inside your price list. Okay.
Thank you guys
Well, I
for
appreciate
joining.
everybody coming in, and I'm probably going to get some people here that are going to reach out after. Um, so this is kind of a lot. It was a pretty big extensive change. But I'm really happy that we did it because I kind of wanted to get away from the tier system, and we kind of shifted gears on a couple of the other products that we wanted to work on, but we wanted to get this in place. I wish I had it put together about a month ago, but we were we're really working a lot on a lot of the UI portion of this, to try and make it as user friendly as possible. And I understand in the beginning everything's got to go through a learning curve. Initially, it might be a little overwhelming, but I think once you start playing with it a little bit, it's actually pretty easy to work with.
Yeah, so this guide is on the Cool Running Software blog. So if you go to coolrunningsoftware.com/blog, it'll be the first post on there. If you just go to our YouTube too, that playlist is there. It includes all the videos. There's 10 videos. I go over the whole thing. And yeah, if you guys subscribe to our YouTube, turn on notifications. Anyone who had them on when we were posting these at I think 2:30 in the morning on launch day, they were getting notifications that we were posting videos. So if you're interested in that too, subscribe and turn on notifications.
Yeah. Hey Nick, can you show on the blog, please, to people that aren't
Yeah.
familiar with the blog page on
Yep.
the website?
Yep. Let me share the screen and see it in there. So if you just go to our website and go to resources, the blog right here. This is like our press release place, right? Every time we launch a new feature or we're going to conventions, we post a little bit of a blog post just to kind of give you guys information. So this one's about a 16 to 18 minute read. Obviously, you don't have to read the whole thing in one sitting, but you can actually go in here and just click to the section you want to go to. So you're like, okay, how do I build a new price point? It's going to bring you right to that section. There's the video going over it, but also some step-by-step instructions on how to do it. We have like practical, like best practices and tips on here as well, just as a resource for you guys. Okay.
Okay, well, I think that's all we have for today, unless there's any last minute questions. Um, reach out to us if you want to get a one-on-one session with us to go over this, and be happy to help.
Yep. And the recording's going to be going out tomorrow morning for all of you who want that. So thank you guys.
All right, thanks everybody for coming.